so you said your knee was pretty banged up, and obviously the issues with your peaches. Um, like how has recovery been since? Like, I mean, was it like fetal position and projectile vomiting, or
No,
how'd that
no,
go?
no, no, nothing like that. I was like really sore. I was shocked that I thought I was gonna be able to sleep good. I didn't sleep for what was it, 3 days? I didn't sleep for 3 days after selection. I don't know if because my body was in shock from like what had happened. We got my wife got a super nice hotel, like a suite, really nice one. So that's where they stayed like during that. So I was like really like looking forward to going back. I had big tub. We had a king size bed, extra bed for the kids. I went back. I laid back, couldn't sleep. I was just up. I was exhausted, and so I stayed away. I just stayed in the bathtub until the water got cold, and then I filled it back up again, and I just stayed in the bathtub and listened to music. And I was like that for like 3 days. We stayed in Ohio until Monday. I didn't sleep at all. I slept maybe 5 hours for the after selection, and when we got home, that was the first night I slept good. And I had to be at work on Tuesday, freaking right away in the morning. But so sleep was like really a weird thing that I didn't get to do. The chafe was I had chafe like a little bit here, a little bit on my lower back. My hips were really bad from that hip belt. Deep, they were deep. So I had scabs, which they got annoying when they became scabs because they were all in like movable areas. So they just kept cracking and bleeding. And in my gym, I wear like a belly pad and like big pads for when people are hitting. So the belly pad was like rubbing on my hip, and I wasn't gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna hold pads for you because my hips are fucked up. So I obviously held pads for them, and they're hitting the pad. So that took a long time to heal. My right knee stayed really huge for a long time. I have full movement in it now, but still some things hurt. I have zero feeling in both my big toes still right now. I have nerve damage. Um, I, I don't know. So I have no feeling. I was just clipping my toenails a couple of days ago, and I went fully into the thing. And they were bleeding. I didn't really know that it was happening because I have no feeling in my toes. I can move them. I can flex. I have all movement. I can put pressure. I can resist pressure. So they're fine. So the doctor said it's just going to come back. One day you'll wake up and they'll be fine. So that happened. Um, my peaches took about a week to heal. They were fully scabbed up. That was a weird feeling to have it. uh, and then that was, and then just extreme soreness, like even raising my arms up to like to turn a shower head or something like that was pretty hard for a few days. Last Thursday, yeah, so like 4 days ago or whatever it was, I went for my first run again. Um, I went for about a 5 mile run, just a jog. It was actually just a jog, and I about a half mile into it, I realized that my body was still sore, like my joints. I didn't know my left ankle hurt. It doesn't hurt now, but it really was bothering me during the run, and it hurt for the rest of the day. The next day, it didn't hurt. Doesn't hurt now. My knees started hurting again. My hips started hurting, like just like crick. I felt like an old man, kind of. But I did like a 5 mile run, and I've been slowly easing back into my Muay Thai workouts too. I couldn't kick for a long time because I couldn't support anything with my right knee. So it was, yeah, I was pretty sore. Um, Pretty much my lower half was what was really bad. Hips, knees, and ankles, like where my joints were. But I don't care about it. Like I had a guy fight on Saturday night, and it was his first fight. He got fight of the night. Actually, it takes two to have fight of the night. His nose was broken, fucking blood. I had blood all over my face from him. I went to his corner in between the rounds, and he goes, blood went all over me, and he was telling me. I said, doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Why are you here right now? Let's think of that reason. Let's get this fight. He went to a decision. He won a unanimous decision. Um, After I took him to the corner room, and he was destroyed. His body. He's fought for 9 minutes. His first fight. He was really out of it. He took some big shots. The other his opponent. There was no losers in that fight. They went to fucking war with each other. The next day, on Sunday, I had talked to him. He put a post up on Facebook. He doesn't give a fuck about his injuries right now. Doesn't matter. He won his first fight, and that's what was important to him. That's the way I teach people. So for me to have my knee sores the size of a cantaloupe and no feeling in my toes right now, it doesn't matter. Like I finished selection, and that's the way people got to think. That guy who number 13, like his knee may have hurt. I guarantee you, my knee hurt more. There's no way. And he quit because he said his knee hurt. He should have been thinking like, hey, fuck this pain. I'm gonna finish this. Then I'll deal with the pain later. That's the way I try to think of things. So not like trying to disrespect him or whatever, but you gotta work through pain. That's another thing that I think that the Muay Thai really helps me out because during fights you get hurt. You get hurt doing and you gotta work past the pain, say mind over matter, and why are you there? You're there to get your hand raised at the end to win and not to quit. Like that's always encouraging the Muay Thai community and as a whole, whether it's my gym or anywhere else. They have one rule: it's not to quit. You can't quit. Take pride in why you're there. You're already in pain. You might as well win. Don't be in pain. Quit. You know what I mean? That's terrible. What a horrible way. So you know, I'm not big into lifting weights, so I always like dog people who do CrossFit, just bust balls, with them. But they don't teach any of that stuff at CrossFit. They don't teach any of that mental stuff. If they get hurt, they put that crazy looking tape all over their bodies. Then if it hurts still, they don't work out. In Muay Thai, you got to keep working out. You got to keep training. Boxing, wrestling, any combat sport, you work through pain. You learn to deal with injuries. So there's another thing I had an advantage of over everybody. I wish people didn't lift all these weights. I don't lift weights. You know, I didn't wear special boots that day. You gotta have it up here and do it. So I think if people started taking Muay Thai classes or taking boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and they got into it, they started competing. They don't have to be a professional fighter. They have these little small tournaments for people to compete, but you're fighting yourself. You through the whole thing, and I think that really was another advantage that I had that people don't really get to have training at a regular box gym. Lifting weights or doing whatever it may be. So yeah,
Um, yeah. So, man, that's you said you do you do two crazy things a year.
yeah,
All
one
right.
to
So you
two.
just did selection.
Yep.
Like what? Does it get crazier than that? And
Uh,
like what's on the radar now for you?
Nothing right now. I don't have anything planned. I just gotta do. Excuse me 1 minute. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like look at this and talk to you. Uh, no, yeah, yeah. So I don't have anything planned right now. Nothing's planned at all. Um, Someone just sent me this thing. Fucking, I'm not gonna do it, but it was I had to train a lot for the swimming part, but it was to do 5 Ironmans in 5 days. This event, which I've never even done an Ironman. So I'm not gonna do that. Maybe one day, but I'd have to really train for the swimming part of that because I don't swim crazy. Um, but I don't know. I'll do something. I probably won't do anything else this year. January's right around the corner. Sure, next year someone's gonna send me some link to something. Um, I did see because I'll never do selection again. I'll never do it. I did it. I will go to it next year. I'm really looking forward to going to it next year and getting to chill. They had an after party after the selection. They do it for the person who finishes. I left sort of pretty quickly. I wanted to go be with my family and do my own thing, but I would love to like chill with like some of the cadre and have a beer with them. Um, and I would love to. I really hope next year there's one finishing. I don't want two to finish next year. I want to go there and I want to see him fucking grind it out and talk to the cadre and I want to see. If other people finish, I'm not gonna like hate on them for finishing, but I'd really like to see one person fucking getting it, doing it, and I will be like very active in that selection as far as I won't sleep too much. I really want to go. I want to see the stud standing out. Who is it? And see if like because I like to meet people like me. You don't meet a ton of people that like the stuff that you do. Even like my good friends, they don't they don't do this shit. They do other things. Like with my best friend, he doesn't. He plays basketball. I hate basketball. So we don't have anything in common. So I like to meet people who do like this kind of stuff. I dragged my two buddies with me into the ultra marathon who don't do. They never even ran a marathon. They were my they were two of my fighters that I have, two of my amateur fighters who are in shape. So I was like, come on guys, let's fucking do it. So they did it with me. They're like, dude, fuck you. They hated me for making them do it. They did it. We all finished together. We made a like pact that we're all finished together. I had to walk a little bit with them, but we did it. So yeah, so next year for selection, I'm really excited to go see it and hang out with the cadre. I hope a lot of the ones that were with doing mine are there, so I could, it'd be cool to meet other ones too. But to really, I'm sure they're all cool guys. I didn't really get to see the cool side of them. And Garrett, I don't know if you know the guys at all. He's from Massachusetts, so he was busting my balls pretty heavy too. So I'd like to hang out with him. Cause I got to see after they did you get to see like behind the scenes, the live feeds and stuff. And he actually like hyped me up quite a bit, and he said like this guy's, from another planet, like, and he liked me a lot. You could tell from like the behind the scenes, or he thought I was working hard at least. So, and he's from Mass, so I'd like to hang out with him, and throw some beers back with him and stuff. So yeah, no selections anymore for me. I'll do another GORUCK event. I don't know when it'll be or what it'll be. I probably just do like a little like casual one with my buddy Paul, who he's the one that told me about GORUCK. Do one with him or something like that, but nothing. I probably won't even do a heavy again, unless he asked me to do it with him because he didn't finish the one heavy. So if he said let's do a heavy, I would do it with him, but I'd probably do like a light something just to do it. So yeah, I don't know.
Final question. Tell us about you. As soon as the event was over, there was a live feed going, and you kind of grabbed whoever had the phone and you said, "Hey man, is this live? Like,
Yeah,
come here." You dragged him over to your bag and you pulled out your plate and you had a picture on it.
yeah.
Whose picture was that? Tell us about him.
So that guy Paul who I did the heavy with, his son died. He overdosed. Before I knew him, he's he's older than he's like I think Paul's like 50, 51, 52, something like that. I met him because his wife is my wife's best friend. They grew up together. So I met Paul after they got married and stuff. Side story. But yeah, so when his son died, again, I didn't know him at this point. He was looking for something. He was devastated. The kid was like in his 20s. He was devastated, and he found GORUCK. So he started doing GORUCK events to help him like just get over it and like be part of something, and to do shit. So he had been doing it for quite a while. And then he had never did a heavy. So he told me he was doing this 24-hour joint, and it's like right up my alley of some 24 hours. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. So I didn't know at the time, but like a couple of days before the heavy, he carries bricks. A lot of people carry like it's like 6 bricks filled up, and he has like these special bricks, and on the brick is that picture that I had. So he's never, and then he bought like he loves GORUCK. He loves it. He has all their gear, and he's really big support because it helped him a lot get over his son. So he's never done a GORUCK event. He's did tons of them without his son in the ruck. So, and he's obsessed with selection, like obsessed. He knows everything about it. And I found out later that everyone else knows everything about it too. I didn't really know. I probably knew the least about selection out of everyone who does GORUCK things. So I thought it would be cool. So I hit up his wife because I was like, yo, I told her, I was like, hey, I want to bring a picture of Paul's son and put it on my plate, and I want to do selection with it. And at that time when I asked her, I didn't know they had live feeds. So what I was going to do is I was going to take a picture, me holding the plate with all the cadre, and I was going to get that picture developed and give that to him. And that was going to be his first time knowing. And like a couple of days before selection, Paul had told me, he's like, dude, you got to join the Tough. I didn't even have the Tough page. I don't do the whole Facebook thing that much. The Facebook Tough page. So I wasn't even part of it. He's like, you should be part of it because they do a live feed. And your wife Serena and your kids can watch it while you're doing it. I was like, oh fuck. So I sent in like a couple of requests to get on the tough page because I had did the heavy, but my name's not my name. It's my Facebook. It's Bon Muay Thai is my Facebook name. So we had to my wife sent an email to the people, and then they finally included me in it. So then that's how I found out about the live feed. So his wife took forever. It was like, I think it was like a week before selection. I had asked her 4 months before. I was like, send me this picture. She never sent it to me. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Because I really wanted to do it for him. And she finally sent it to me. It was like his memorial card from his funeral. So she sent it to me, and I taped it on to the my plate that I had brought. And it was cool because he had told me about and I borrowed his ruck. That's the ruck that I had used was his. So his ruck still has had his son compete in every or complete every or compete, yeah, that's the word, in every GORUCK event. So that was like what was on I wanted to take a picture with me and my son. I brought a Navy flag with me, and I didn't know there was going to be a SEAL in doing selection. So that fucking I was so happy about. But I wanted to do two things right when it ended, and one was I wanted to, so I knew Paul was watching it and with his wife. So I wanted to get the plate out. That was my first priority, and to show Paul that I had his son because he had no clue. No one had any idea besides his wife or my wife. And I wanted to hold the Navy flag up with me and my son because I want him to be in the military. So, but then there was a SEAL there, so I was like, he's definitely going to be in the fucking picture. So I went over and I pulled out the ruck plate, and I did that little spiel for him, and then the next objective was to get the Navy flag up for me and my son, and then I asked Cadre Cody to hold the other side of it. So there was like all three of us in there. So they were my objectives when it was done. I wanted to do those two things.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate all your time and just kind of telling your stories. I mean, it was really cool to be able to just sit back and watch it, and I know
Yeah.
you inspired a lot of people to like you said, push through the pain and to really embrace the challenges. And even just talking to you now, it's like, man, I just want to go out and go like do some hard shit. So
Yeah, man, it's all in your head, man. Um, I tell people in my gym all the time, and I tell it's easier said than done. I think it's sort of like a certain breed of person, but if you think that you're gonna finish like selection, you're not finishing it. You got to know. You got to know. You got to know. And it's a super doable thing. You gotta have a hard body going into it. But what I mean by that is train hard. You don't you sort of know in your head already if you're going to do it or not. So as long as you have that mental part, train hard, and selection super doable. It's super doable for people to finish. They just got to get about the consequences, and that would be of what your injuries are going to be, and think about one thing, and that's the finish. So yeah, I was super happy with all the supporters that I didn't even know. I didn't know GORUCK was that big. Even when I did the heavy, I didn't know it was that big of a thing. I sort of didn't talk to anybody. I just minded my own business and did it. And then my wife, when we were driving back to the hotel, she gave me my phone, and she goes, "Wait till you see what your fucking phone looks like." I had like 500 friend requests. I had private messages from people from China. I couldn't even read the message. All I could see in it was 30 035, and then Chinese letter or symbols or whatever they're called. So I had no idea it was such a big thing. So, and to read the comments that people were writing, like I didn't know any that people were really watching it like how it was. So that's when I learned how big GORUCK was over that next 2 days when I was up in the middle of the night, just sitting in the bathtub, soaking my body. I was on my phone, listening to music, and I was on my phone. I was like reading these like thousands of comments and messages people sent me, and what I did for them. I was like just baffled because I have done these things before, and I never did it for anybody. I did do them for me, like a weirdo. So this was actually cool. I didn't know it was that big, and yeah, it was a cool thing. So yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks to all the GORUCK people supported me.
awesome, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, man, cool. And yeah, I'll be in touch.